First tonight on Our News at 7, not guilty. An 8-woman, 1-man jury acquits North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish of all charges, including rape, assault, and threats of death. Then, top brass of the police force say they are classifying that incident on Muttonfish Drive that left 2 men dead as a death investigation. And then a final farewell. Dozens pay respects to the family of a former member of Parliament and Senator Philip Galanis. Then in Our News at 7:30, the nation's Chief Justice addressing public concerns regarding the current Bail Act and a backlog of criminal cases. We have the details on these and more as Our News Live at 7 starts now. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Embattled North Abaco Member of Parliament Kirk Cornish has been acquitted of all charges following a months-long trial. Our Berthany McDermott, who was at the Supreme Court this afternoon, says it took the 8-woman, 1-man jury less than 2 hours to return to court with their verdict. Berthany joins us live with more on this. And Berthany, this is obviously a case the public has been following closely, considering Cornish holds a seat in Parliament. What was the scene like today?
Megan, after that verdict was read, his supporters who came to hear what the decision was were heard cheering. Once that was read, we heard hallelujahs, thank you God, all of that inside court after it was read that he was found not guilty on 2 counts of rape. As for those assault charges and that charge of a threat of death, the group of jurors found 6 of them voted not guilty while 3 voted guilty. His mother was sitting in the front of the court. She started crying when that verdict was read, hearing her son was found not guilty of those charges. Now, we tried to speak to the North Abaco MP once they left the courtroom today. However, he said nothing to us as we put questions to him. However, one of his attorney, Owen Wells, he had something to say.
The members of the jurors took in the evidence, they listened to it and made a decision on the evidence.
So, of course, later this afternoon, Megan, he released this statement that I have in hand here. In the statement, he says he is blessed to turn the page on this difficult chapter in his life. Moving forward, he said his focus will be on addressing challenges and to address the needs, specifically those of the people of North Abaco. Now, no senior member of the Progressive Liberal Party was present during that reading today. However, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell, he released a statement saying that the PLP is thankful. He also expressed thanks to the jurors. North Eleuthera MP Sylvanus Petty, who was also Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, he was here in support and he had this to say to reporters today.
Words can't express. I'm happy that it's over. There's no winner in this, so I'm just happy that it's over for both sides.
Now, of course, Megan, this is something we will continue to follow. We asked what the next steps could look like for him. And that question we didn't get an answer to. But of course, again, this is something we will continue to follow. Megan?
Thanks so much for that, Berthany. And once again, that's our Berthany McDermott reporting for us live tonight as embattled North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish has been acquitted of all charges. Police are treating the incident that left 2 brothers-in-law dead as a death investigation. According to police, 38-year-old Alan Pratt and 42-year-old Ronaldo Bowleg died after a fight inside a Muttonfish Drive home Tuesday night. Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings, speaking at a cancer donation event, said investigations are ongoing to determine if the case will be classified as a double murder.
It's a death investigation right now. Now I hear you talking about 104 murders. I don't know if we've classified the last incidents that have occurred. I want to ask you all to simply wait for the police, for our department, to actually classify the incident, the domestic matter that occurred on Muttonfish Drive the other night.
Domestic violence cases, specifically those that end up in death. Skippings once again sharing the message of healthy conflict resolution.
I want to encourage you to walk away. Walk away. Find a mediator. Do not pick up an edge tool because it's going to get worse than you expect. It may go further than you anticipate. Walk away, knowing that the heat of the moment will not last forever. Everybody gets upset, but it's how you deal with the situation at that particular time.
Family, friends, colleagues, and parliamentarians gathered at the House of Assembly to pay respects to the family of former Member of Parliament and Senator Philip Galanis. He died earlier this month at the age of 70 after being found unresponsive at his home. Galanis, who was a certified public accountant, served as the chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission up until the time of his passing. Among those signing the Book of Condolences and speaking with his family as he lie in state in the House of Assembly were F&M leader Michael Pintard and former Chief Justice Sir Michael Barnett.
Phil's passing was a shock to all of us. I've known him, as I told the family, since high school. We were both at St. Augustine's together, and we both worked under the same Sassoon house, the same premises for many years. And I'm the godfather to his daughter Zoe. So it was a shock, it's a disappointment.
He's loved on all sides of the political divide because of the way in which he contributed to national development and the way he did politics. He was not a tribalistic person, whether it was on a personal level or through his national discourse. He paid tribute to Bahamian excellence.
And tonight, we remember veteran journalist and radio talk show host Darrell Miller. Friends, family, and political leaders gathered at Bahamas Faith Ministries to honor his life and legacy. We've got the full story coming up in our news at 7:30. Well, it's time now for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Megan, and happy evening, everybody. Of course, this is Halloween, so I've already heard those firecrackers going off outside. 78 degrees, and it is very windy on the outside. Partly cloudy skies. The winds out of the east at 35 miles per hour. That is very strong. Feels like temperature, a very comfortable 77 degrees on the outside. Temperatures around the islands right now, it's 78 in Freeport with some passing showers. Also in Marsh Harbor, we pick up 78, Great Harbor Key, and in Nicholstown, Andros. Alistown, Bimini, 81, 79 over in Governor's Harbor. Here in the capital, we are 78 as well. 80 in Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Deadman's Key, and in Arthurstown, Cat Island, Coburn Town, San Salvador, 79, and into the southeast Bahamas. 82, Duncantown, Ragged Island, some passing showers there. Delectable Bay, also 81 with some passing showers. Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, and Abrams Bay. Also, Providenciales, Matthewtown in Agua Deep South, also recording a temperature of 81 at this hour. Satellite radar composite. It is still quiet across the area. The ridge of high pressure is in charge. Dry air mass in place, but we still have that Atlantic moisture being vectored across us with the strong east-northeasterly winds. That's bringing in some spotty showers across the area. This area that we were watching yesterday, or actually talked about yesterday, they have an eye on that. National Hurricane Center will continue to watch that for the next couple of days. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us to look at extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, Spain reeling from the worst floods the country has seen in a generation. Our Marlena Leonard dives into the ongoing recovery efforts. But first,
coming up in sports, last night's fifth inning was the scariest thing a Yankee fan could witness this Halloween season. Then we check in on a busy Wednesday night around the NBA.
Welcome.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Long Island is the best kept secret.
Join us as we count down the Rev Up Top 7.
And you'll never be the one.
This is Cindy Blackman Santana, and you are watching The Charlie Bahama Show.
Catch The Charlie Bahama Show from New York City with the amazing drummer Cindy Blackman Santana and our very own jazz virtuoso Give Tin Jellin and a few young Bahamian musicians following in his footsteps, all from New York City. The Charlie Bahama Show, every Friday night, 8 p.m. on Cable Bahamas, Channel 212.
Up. It's gonna be a ride you'll never forget. The 242 Hottest Artist is coming to give you a ride of a lifetime.
Join us as we count down the Rev Up Top 7.
Get ready to rev up. Are you ready?
This November 5th, millions of Americans will decide in a race that will define history. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in a fight to the finish.
Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment.
The world is watching, and so are we. Starting November 3rd, Our News is live from the U.S. with a Bahamian perspective, because Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
My name is Trevor Williams. I've been a Live Fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Trevor Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right
Welcome to Our Sports is 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Marknut. Let's do show. It looked promising early on for New York Yankee fans and for Jazz Chisholm fans that adopted the team since July. But a disastrous fifth inning undid the season and the hopes of a comeback in the 2024 World Series. The Los Angeles Dodgers rallied to defeat the Yankees 7-6 last night to close out the series 4-1 at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. In his first World Series appearance, Chisholm tallied hits in 4 of the 5 games with a .238 average, with 1 home run, 3 runs scored, and 4 stolen bases.
Wednesday night in the Association for Our Guys was headlined by a DeAndre Ayton-Kai Jones matchup, while Buddy Hield still continues to light it up in the Bay. Ayton notched his 5th double-double of the season with 15 points and 12 rebounds to lead the Portland Trail Blazers to a 106-105 win over the Los Angeles Clippers at the Intuit Dome in LA. Jones finished with 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocked shots in 17 minutes off the bench. Over in San Francisco, Buddy Hield continued his hot shooting and led the Warriors to back-to-back wins over the New Orleans Pelicans at the Chase Center.
The groundswell of support we've seen behind Jazz Chisholm the last few months has an opportunity to continue here at home when his foundation hosts the 2nd edition of its Little League. Beginning tomorrow and running through December 7th at the Andre Rogers National Stadium, the Jazz Chisholm Foundation Little League will open to 5 divisions: T-ball, coach pitch, 11U, 14U, and open.
In your Bahamas Bowl update this week, teams move closer to bowl eligibility and a chance to play in Paradise this January.
That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When Our News comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the DynaCare baby powder recall expands. Plus, the UN General Assembly renews calls for the United States to end its long-standing sanctions on Cuba. And then the clock is ticking for TikTok, as a ban is expected to be implemented in the U.S. come January 2025. We have the details when Our News returns.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be extra.
What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
This is Cindy Blackman Santana, and you are watching The Charlie Bahama Show.
Catch The Charlie Bahama Show from New York City with the amazing drummer Cindy Blackman Santana and our very own jazz virtuoso Give Jellin, and a few young Bahamian musicians following in his footsteps, all from New York City. The Charlie Bahama Show every Friday night, 8 p.m. on Cable Bahamas, Channel 212.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. Dynarex Corporation is recalling its Dynacare baby powder due to potential asbestos contamination, expanding the recall from 12 to 35 states and online sales through Amazon. The affected products, sold on or after January 18, 2024, come in 4-ounce and 14-ounce sizes. Dynarex urges consumers to stop using the powder and return it for a full refund. There are no reported illnesses, but the company identified possible contamination in additional lots after FDA sampling detected asbestos. A federal judge ruled Wednesday that a Tennessee woman suing Sean Diddy Combs for alleged sexual assault from when she was 19 cannot proceed anonymously. Judge Mary Kay Viscosil found her arguments wholly meritless, stating that allegations alone don't entitle plaintiffs to anonymity. The woman claims Combs' security guard took her to a private room at a party where she was assaulted. Combs, who denies all allegations, has been accused in multiple lawsuits. The UN General Assembly voted overwhelmingly Wednesday for the U.S. to end its long-standing sanctions on Cuba as the island faces its worst economic crisis in decades. The resolution, which passed with 187 countries in favor, marked the 32nd consecutive year of similar votes. Only the U.S. and Israel opposed the measure, with Moldova abstaining.
Sanctions are one element of our broader effort to advance democracy and promote respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms in Cuba. We therefore oppose this resolution.
Largely, as we see every year, the U.S. once again has used lies and manipulation to justify the blockade against Cuba, as it does every year. its isolation grows and its loss of credibility on the international stage as a result of its criminal policy. What they're doing seems to have no limits. They hold the Cuban government responsible for the suffocation caused by the blockade imposed on our country.
The clock is ticking for TikTok in the U.S. following a recent law signed by President Joe Biden. TikTok faces a full shutdown in January 2025 unless its parent company ByteDance sells its U.S. operations. The U.S. government cites national security concerns, viewing TikTok's Chinese ownership as a potential threat to data privacy and influence. TikTok is fighting back in court, claiming this ban violates First Amendment rights. McDonald's announced Sunday it will reintroduce Quarter Pounders at hundreds of restaurants after tests confirmed that beef patties were not the source of an E. coli outbreak. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration identified slivered onions from Taylor Farms in Colorado as the likely contaminant. The outbreak has sickened at least 75 people across 13 states, with 22 hospitalized and 1 death reported in Colorado. Over 150 people have died in Spain since Tuesday due to the worst floods in the country in generations. In tonight's Sustainability First, our Marlena Leonard looks at how warmer temperatures in the Mediterranean may have contributed to the higher rainfall.
It was described as a year's worth of rainfall in just 8 hours. In Valencia, Spain, cars left piled up on top of each other in debris-filled streets and roads left crumbling after the flash floods ripped across the eastern region. That catastrophic flooding leaving the death toll in the triple digits. Its cause? Something the Spanish call a gota fria, or cold drop, when cold air collides with the warmer waters of the Mediterranean Sea, creating strong rainstorms that can also produce hail and tornadoes. With this week's floods being the most deadly Spain has seen in decades, it's worth mentioning that the Mediterranean Sea's temperature hit its highest on record at 83 degrees Fahrenheit this summer. Ernesto Rodriguez Camino, a senior state meteorologist in Spain, saying, in the context of climate change, these types of intense and exceptional rare rainfall events are going to become more frequent and more intense, and therefore destructive. In 2021, Spain was the 4th largest polluter in the European Union. The Bahamas is no stranger to the consequences of climate change-fueled storms, and lately the country has been hailed as a leader in the push for climate action, taking the center stage in many of the international discussions about the global crisis. Just last month, Prime Minister Philip Davis addressed the United Nations General Assembly, calling on larger countries to take the climate crisis more seriously, criticizing their ability to, quote, somehow quickly find eye-watering sums of money for bullets and bombs, end quote, while using small change for climate action. Now, with larger European countries like Spain and Germany feeling the pressure from the climate crisis, will we see more meaningful progress in climate action? The next United Nations Climate Change Conference takes place in less than 2 weeks. We'll just have to wait and see. Reporting for Our News and reminding you to put sustainability first, I'm Marlena Leonard.
Still to come in Our News, Today in History. Find out interesting facts about the day that was October 31st. Plus, our Danielle Miller attends a spooky soiree and has the ghouling highlights. And then in Our News at 7:30, police sharing helpful advice on staying safe tonight as you participate in trick-or-treating festivities. That's coming up when Our News returns.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
Extra. What, eh?
Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video, and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
This November 5th, millions of Americans will decide in a race that will define history. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in a fight to the finish.
Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment.
The world is watching, and so are we. Starting November 3rd, Our News is live from the U.S. with a Bahamian perspective, because Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
My name is Atreyu Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area. Once I was able to make the switch, my service and everything I needed was satisfied. My favorite feature would actually be being able to add any apps from the Play Store. It's just basically making any dumb TV a smart TV. I do a lot of back-end support, engineering support, helping clients working remotely when I'm from home. The internet is a very important aspect of my job and my life. My name is Atreyu Williams, and the future is home with a live fiber.
When hurricanes and emergencies strike, timely information can save lives. That's why Alive Business brings you bulk SMS messaging, your essential tool for staying informed and safe. Imagine having critical updates and safety tips delivered right to your phone, anytime and anywhere. With bulk SMS messaging, you can send real-time alerts and updates and timely notifications. When every second counts, count on Alive Business bulk SMS messaging. For more information, contact the experts.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the Our News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team.
On this day in Bahamian history in 2014, the cruise ship Bahama Celebration, while departing from Freeport en route to Palm Beach, Florida, struck an unknown object. The ship had to stay in port, and passengers were rescued by a Resorts World Bimini superfast vessel. They were all later taken to their intended destination. And in 2020, Scottish-born British actor Sean Connery died in Lyford Key. He was 90 years old. Connery, who was a permanent resident in the Bahamas, was best known for playing Ian Fleming's fictional British spy James Bond on the big screen, as well as other notable roles in films such as The Hunt for Red October, The Untouchables, Finding Forrester, and The Name of the Rose. An autopsy showed the actor died from pneumonia-triggered respiratory failure, atrial fibrillation, and old age.
Well, Halloween is a night where kids enjoy dressing up in costumes and going trick-or-treating. For the adults, it's all about a good costume party. Our Danielle Miller recently got to attend one of them. And as she tells us in this report, it was a spooky soiree that featured an out-of-town guest.
It was the Saturday before Halloween, and the townspeople came out to keep scary hours. The goblets were overflowing with drinks, and the music was so energetic it made us all do the Monster Mash. This is Halloween at Atlantis, Paradise Island.
Our nightclub was transformed for a pre-Halloween spectacular night. To add to the thriller night, Barbadian disc jockey DJ Puffy headlined the event.
Now, this is your first time performing in Club Aura. Can you tell me what can we expect in your lineup of music?
I don't like to say what you can expect in my lineup of music. You just need to come and be surprised and be entertained.
Although he kept his selection of music mixes a secret, he did reveal hypnosis is key to putting the crowd in a time warp.
Kind of like they're like therapists, you know. Everybody comes here to kind of get away from what's going on in their lives, and you know, you're like massaging them, not just physically but mentally, and allowing them to just let go of all that stress, bad vibes, bad energy, and giving them all the goodness that they possibly can have in that moment. So to be the puppet master, to be the therapist is a blessing. And yeah, it's a huge feeling of euphoria.
As the evening went on, we watched the club filled with partygoers dressed in elaborate yet creative costumes. The club was haunted with bottle-carrying vampires as guests filled the dance floor all night long. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Thanks so much for that, Danielle. Now, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, visit ournews.bs. That does it for Our News Live at 7. Joining us now is our Marlena Leonard with the latest headlines. Marlena, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, Megan. Are you dressing up as anything tonight afternoon?
I am dressing up cozy on the couch. I don't know if that counts.
Same. Well, for those of you going out, police are sharing helpful advice on staying safe tonight while you and your little ones go trick-or-treating. Plus, why the Chief Justice says pointing fingers is very unhelpful. Here's a look at your latest headlines. First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, not guilty. A jury clears Kirk Cornish on all counts in his rape, assault, and threats of death trial. Our Berthany McDermott was at the Supreme Court this afternoon and joins us live with the details. And the Chief Justice says he's optimistic soon-to-be implemented measures will help resolve the criminal backlog. This after a recent uptick in violence prompts fresh cries for bail reform. Plus, planning to trick or treat this evening? What police want you to know and how to stay safe while you stay spooky. And remembering an icon. Friends, fans, former colleagues, and political heavy hitters attending the funeral of veteran journalist and radio show host Darryl Miller today. Why they call him a modern Bahamian icon. Our News Live at 7:30 is back in a moment.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the Our News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Bahamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bahamian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, The Falcon, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Breezes Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack location. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
I'm Michaela Kerr.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Marlena Leonard, in for Italia Hall. North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish has been acquitted of all charges after a lengthy trial. Our Berthany McDermott was at the Supreme Court this afternoon, where the 8-woman, 1-man jury returned their verdict in less than 2 hours. Berthany McDermott joins us live with more on today's proceedings. And Berthany, this case has certainly grabbed public attention given Cornish's position in Parliament. What can you tell us?
Yes, Marlena, in this court case that has gotten much attention in recent weeks, the jury found North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish unanimously not guilty on 2 charges of rape. As for those assault and deaths of threat, those were not unanimous. 6 of them voted not guilty, while 3 voted guilty. In court today, Cornish's mother, who was sitting alongside his father in the front of the courtroom this afternoon, we could be seen crying as those not guilty verdicts was read to her son. We tried to get a comment from Cornish after the proceedings this afternoon. However, he had nothing to say to us at that time. However, his attorney, one of his attorneys, Owen Wells, he said this.
The members of the jurors took in the evidence, they listened to it and made a decision on the evidence.
Now, later this afternoon, Cornish released this statement. In the statement, he says he is blessed to be able to turn the page on what has been the most difficult chapter of his life. Now that this chapter is over, he says he's ready to recommit to the Bahamian people, specifically the people of North Abaco, who he represents. Now, while no senior members of the Progressive Liberal Party was in court this afternoon while that verdict was being read, PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell releasing a statement. In it, he said the party is just thankful. He also thanked the jurors. North Eleuthera MP Sir Lannis Petty, who was also the Deputy Speaker of the House of Assembly, he was also there showing support to Cornish. He also had this to say to us.
Words can't express. I'm happy that it's over. There's no winner in this, so I'm just happy that it's over for both sides.
Now, Marlena, while it wasn't a packed courtroom this afternoon, there were family members of Cornish and other supporters, some of them from North Abaco, here to support him once those not guilty verdicts were read today. We heard some of them cheering, some of them saying thank God, and some of them saying hallelujah. Now, of course, we'll continue to follow this to see exactly what Cornish's next steps will be. Coming to you live from the Supreme Court building, downtown Nassau, I'm Berthany McDermott, sending it back to you on the desk, Marlena.
All right, thanks so much for that, Berthany. That's Berthany McDermott. Reporting for us live tonight as embattled North Abaco MP Kirk Cornish has been acquitted of all charges. With the country's murder count topping 100 so far for the year, calls for amendments to the Bail Act continue to get louder from the public, politicians, and crime activists. Chief Justice Sir Ian Winder responding today, saying he's optimistic soon-to-be implemented measures will help resolve the criminal backlog. Our Delvardo Emmanuel reports.
There was an amendment to the Supreme Court Act, which provides for active case management on the criminal side. That has spurred the passage of the criminal case management rules, which the Rules Committee recently passed about 2 weeks ago, which is likely to come into effect on the 1st of December, which will greatly impact the way criminal cases are moved in this country.
Chief Justice Sir Ian Winder addressed public concerns regarding the current Bail Act and a backlog of criminal cases following a recent wave of killings. He spoke with reporters as he was leaving Parliament after paying his respects to the family of former Member of Parliament and Senator Phil Galanis. The CG explains why he believes the passage of the Criminal Case Management Act will get cases moving through the judicial system.
Everyone will know what the issues are with the case. It'll provide for quicker settlements because all the issues are out on the table. Gone will be the days when you only know what the defense is after the case is closed and the defendant starts his case.
The issue of bail is not a new one, but the topic was reignited this week at a triple murder scene in Fox Hill. That's where Police Commissioner Clayton Fernando revealed that there were 178 young men on bail for murder who were being monitored. The top cop has called for the removal of bail for individuals charged with murder, warning that the failure to do so could result in continued killings. Here's what the Chief Justice had to say to that.
We're always concerned when the young men of our country are tragically taken away. But I think the Prime Minister's statement is more appropriate in the sense that we all need to work together to find appropriate solutions to this crime problem. You know, at the end of the year, when the crime numbers start to tally, you always, this specter of people on bail starts to come to light. We need to come together, find a solution to stop some of these retaliatory killings that are taking place. But it's a holistic solution.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Delvardo Emmanuel.
It's Halloween night, but as you get ready to take the kids out trick-or-treating, police are urging parents to stay safe tonight. Chief Superintendent Chrislyn Skippings reminding parents to keep a watchful eye amid the Halloween excitement.
Wear light-colored clothing, walk facing traffic. Any treats that you receive, I'm asking you, do not allow your children to eat them prior to you checking them. So when you get home, I'm asking you to please check all the treats before you allow your children to partake of them. And also, a little nugget, I would wish for those who are going trick-or-treating, go to people who you know, those people who you are comfortable with. If you go to somebody's home, do not go inside the home.
Officers say they are well aware of the possible mischief seasons like this can bring, but Skipping says not to worry.
There may be those persons who may seek to involve themselves in criminal activity or seek to utilize this opportunity to commit crimes. I want to say to you, we are out in goodly numbers already. And tonight we will have the streets saturated with all of our operational units, with our units from the stations, to ensure that tonight is a safe night. And so for those persons who think that this is a good night, not so.
Veteran journalist and radio talk show host Darrell Miller was funeralized today at the Bahamas Faith Ministries International Church on Carmichael Road. Miller was found dead in his Minnie Street home by police back on October 6th after a resident called them, concerned for Miller's well-being. Miller was 69 years old. The funeral was attended by friends, fans, former colleagues, and political heavy hitters. Englerston MP Glenys Hannah Martin spoke to Miller's Englerston roots and the legendary cultural impact he had on the country.
He rose to become an almost iconic and beloved figure in modern Bahamian culture. A larger-than-life figure whose belly-holding humor and famous one-liners made its way to our national parlance and have now become entrenched in our collective narrative. His coverage of the infamous straw market fire, his coverage of successful general elections, and his famous zero, as we see in the obituary, in the results, can never be forgotten. His poorly veiled joy when announcing the Englerston results in successive general elections leave an indelible imprint in our memories. His talk show and his various creative pursuits put him in a class all by himself.
Well, we had perfect Halloween weather today, and now meteorologist Greg Thompson is joining us for your first look at weather. Greg?
Halloween weather today, windy conditions tonight, so be careful out there when you're out on the outdoors. 78 degrees is our current temperature in the partly cloudy skies, and it is windy. The winds are out of the east at 36 miles per hour, even jumped a couple of miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 77 degrees. Satellite and radar composite showing quiet conditions across our area. Nothing much to talk about. That high pressure will remain in charge. It's going to continue to provide us with the windy conditions, so hazardous beaching and boating will be definitely the name of the game for the next several days. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on Our News, exploring women's future in Bahamian politics. Sasha Lightbourne's Breaking the Glass Ceiling or Not series continues. A leading political analyst blames many factors for our inability to elect our first female prime minister. And our Jasmine Brown introduces us to a breast cancer survivor who has kept up an active lifestyle thanks to the right mastectomy bra and prosthesis from Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies. That's coming up when Our News returns.
I'm Michaela Kerr. I'm an 18-year-old freshman at the University of the Bahamas, and I'm a computer science major. I'm also the NT Corporation's Youth Ambassador for the Environment, and I'm an environmentalist. My journey as the environmental advocate began with a simple yet profound realization that our environment is degrading right in front of my eyes. And being NT's Youth Ambassador for the Environment means that my words and my actions hold the power to help change the environment and the world around me. I find it exciting that I can be a student, live my life, and use my words and my voice to change the environment and the world around me. Most times I think it's a privilege. It's our environment and it's our generation to own. I don't think as a young person that there is anything more rewarding than being a part of bringing awareness. I'm Michaela Kerr, and I'm making a difference in my own words.
Energy conservation is the decision and practice of using less energy. Energy efficiency means using less energy to perform the same task. Turning off lights when you leave a room. Unplugging appliances not in use. People conserve to gain more control over their energy bill and to reduce demand on the Earth's natural resources. Bahamas Power and Light Company Limited looks forward to helping our customers eliminate wasted energy. Take this journey with us as we build for better. BPL.
From population size to a failure to enact serious legislation to protect women, a leading political analyst blames many factors for our inability to elect our first female prime minister. This week, our Sasha Lightborn is exploring the reasons for the unbreakable glass ceiling to that post. It comes as our American neighbors get ready for a presidential election where a woman is running, giving them a second chance to elect their first female president.
You name it, and in most places and professions in the world, a woman has been at the top. Yet nearly 52 years after independence, in a country where the majority are people of color who were once under foreign rule, there remain glaring examples of inequality for women in the Bahamas. Nowhere is more apparent than the title of Prime Minister. But before we examine why, let's look at the benefits.
So I think that the time is now for us to really advocate for the things that we need in the country, because the reality is that when women win, everybody wins.
Dr. Nyambi Hall Campbell Dean is an associate professor. She is also a strong advocate for reparations for the descendants of slaves. She began her analysis on the question of a female prime minister with this view of why our size may be a factor.
In the Bahamas, everybody knows everybody, right? The degrees of separation is maybe 2. So, I think in societies where it may be more spread out, that women's personal lives are not as scrutinized as they may be here.
Next, we unpack this idea of male dominance in politics.
If you're a successful man and you have a family, you have a wife that is taking care of the children, so you don't have to think about that. If you have a woman who is trying to advance politically, who does she have that is really going to be able to take over those roles?
Our political system dictates that a party leader goes on to become prime minister in an election. But here's where her analysis of leading the country versus leading a party got us thinking.
Well, our population, for the most part, is very young. But if you are 25 in the Bahamas, you've never seen a consistent government.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Sasha Lightborn.
Thanks, Sasha. Well, the 3rd annual Connect for the Cure Fun Run Walk and Health Fair was held Saturday in South Beach, with proceeds donated to the Sister Breast Cancer Organization to purchase port access needles for patients. Last year's fund supported 2 local breast cancer patients, and the previous year's proceeds went to the Cancer Society of the Bahamas. Event organizer and South Beach MP is Bacchus Roll.
We had a wonderful time. We had a great showing. I'm totally excited to see all of the young persons out, thoroughly enjoy themselves. Chef Adi is still over there cooking. We had great participation from the constituency, and of course everybody was at Serene Medical Center's booth. Everybody's just involved, and the activity and buzzing is a wonderful time.
The Connect for the Cure event featured a 5K walk and 10K run. We spoke with top finishers in each category.
I do what I usually do. I prioritize myself on pacing. At first I didn't know where I was going. Thankfully I had teammates that knew that ran this course last year. So all I did was I followed them until the way back. On the way back I started really moving quick, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
The walk was very well organized. It was a good route, good weather. I've done every one of them, so it's good to come back out and support the cause.
Why is it so important to support something like this?
My mom actually passed away from breast cancer in 2018, so I've been pushing for cancer awareness and support ever since.
Finding out you have breast cancer can be a scary experience, but there is life after diagnosis. In this next report, our Jasmine Brown speaks with a breast cancer survivor who's kept up with an active lifestyle thanks to the right mastectomy bra and prosthesis. Here's that story.
Meet Relinda Arnett. She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2012 and had to make tough decisions shortly after it was confirmed she had cancer.
You have to go through the praying process and asking the Lord what you should do, and asking the Holy Spirit and asking the children, So I went through all of that. And, it just so happens I was on the computer working one particular morning, Sunday morning before I went to church. And the Holy Spirit just dropped in my spirit, tell your son to bring you a mastectomy.
What followed was months of recovery. Part of the process was getting the right mastectomy bra and prosthesis, which is an artificial breast shape that can sit inside a bra to replace all or part of the breast. For years, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies has sold the best-known brands for cancer care, including Amina, which is a top mastectomy bra line. Their staff is also specially trained by vendors to help customers pick the right products. Arnett says their products have helped her maintain an active lifestyle.
I continue living my life. I'm involved, and I'm a retiree. I've been retired now after over 12 years, sister. I go on the beach a lot. I go walking. I go to morning mass. From morning mass, I go walking. I go on the beach. And that prosthesis is so good, the one for the water. After you retire, you still want to be active. You still want to do things. You still want to go places.
Another highlight for Arnett is the service from the company's highly trained staff.
So I find myself very comfortable when I come here. And she's very helpful. She takes her time. There's other customers, but she takes her time. She doesn't rush, and everybody is very hospitable. I would advise anyone to come here, take your time, speak to one of the young ladies, give your option to them and tell them exactly what you're looking for. If you don't know what you're looking for, they will help you decide on what's best for you.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
Coming up in sports, the Yankees drop bombs in the Bronx, but not enough. Lots of NBA action, and teams continue to make a push for what's important in college football, a trip to the Bahamas.
Plus, as Aviation Week wraps up, aviation officials highlight Our News as one of several media houses proudly receiving the Outstanding Media Award. We have the details when Our News returns.
Long Island is the best kept secret.
Join us as we count down the Rev Up Top 7.
This is Cindy Blackman Santana, and you are watching The Charlie Bahama Show.
Catch The Charlie Bahama Show from New York City with the amazing drummer Cindy Blackman Santana and our very own jazz virtuoso Giv Tingelin, and a few young Bahamian musicians following in his footsteps, all from New York City. The Charlie Bahama Show, every Friday night, 8 p.m. on Cable Bahamas, Channel 212.
Up. It's gonna be a ride you'll never forget. The 242 Hottest Artist is coming to give you a ride of a lifetime.
Join us as we count down the Rev Up Top 7.
Get ready to rev up. Are you ready?
This November 5th, millions of Americans will decide in a race that will define history. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in a fight to the finish.
Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment.
The world is watching, and so are we. Starting November 3rd, Our News is live from the U.S. with a Bahamian perspective, because Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
My name is Trevi Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable, and the time allocated to do the installation was shorter than the time specified. Yeah, the previous provider I had, I noticed that the internet speed actually had intermittent on the services, so I was very grateful that the live fiber was available in my area once I was able to make the switch.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. That's John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. It looked promising early on for New York Yankee fans and for Jazz Chisholm fans that adopted the team since July. But a disastrous fifth inning undid the season and the hopes of a comeback in the 2024 World Series. The Los Angeles Dodgers rallied to defeat the Yankees 7-6 last night to close out the series 4-1 at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The Yankees got out to a 3-0 lead in the first inning. Aaron Judge hit a 2-run shot, and Chisholm followed with a solo homer to the second deck in right field. In his first World Series appearance, Chisholm tallied hits in 4 of the 5 games with a .238 average, with 1 home run, 3 runs scored, and 4 stolen bases.
I mean, it's baseball, man. Anything could happen in baseball. I mean, I'm a professional baseball player, and I can tell you make errors. You know, I mean, I've made errors myself, so I can't tell you like it's super surprising.
Wednesday night in the Association for Our Guys was headlined by a DeAndre Ayton-Kai Jones matchup. While Buddy Hield still continues to light it up in the Bay, Ayton notched his 5th double-double of the season with 15 points and 12 rebounds to lead the Portland Trail Blazers to a 106-105 win over the Los Angeles Clippers at the Intuit Dome in LA. Jones finished with 7 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocked shots in 17 minutes off the bench. The Blazers improved to 2-3 and got their first road win of the season and ended a 9-game losing streak to the Clippers. Over in San Francisco, Buddy Hield continued his hot shooting and led the Warriors to back-to-back wins over the New Orleans Pelicans at the Chase Center. He had 21 points to lead 6 Warriors in double figures in their 104-89 win last night.
You just gotta keep getting better. Every 4 games in, yes, the record shows 4-1. We can be better. Everybody wants to be better, but if all you guys come in here beginning of the season and say this team will start 4-1, I don't know if you guys would say like maybe we'll start that way.
The groundswell of support we've seen behind Jazz Chisholm the last few months has an opportunity to continue here at home when his foundation hosts the 2nd edition of its Little League. Beginning tomorrow and running through December 7th at the Andre Rogers National Stadium, the Jazz Chisholm Foundation Little League will open to 5 divisions: T-ball, coach pitch, 11U, 14U, and open. In its inaugural edition last year, over 200 boys and girls participated in the JCF Little League, hosted at the Blue Hill Sporting Complex.
In your Bahamas Bowl update this week, teams move closer to bowl eligibility and a chance to play in Paradise this January. In Conference USA, Kennesaw State, who has never been to a bowl, won its first conference game by upsetting previously unbeaten Liberty, 27-24. In the player spotlight, Jacksonville State running back Trey Stewart ran for 210 yards and scored in a 42-40 win over Middle Tennessee State. In Maction, Ball State defeated Northern Illinois 27-24 on a field goal with 2 seconds left to play. Ball State has yet to appear in the Bahamas Bowl. Ohio wide receiver Coleman Owen had 6 receptions for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That'll do it for Our Sports. This is 10YS. I know we committed to the Men in Black bit, but do you think all Yankee fans wish they could forget that 5th inning?
I wish we had that little device that you could press the button and no more.
Until next season, back to the studio.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, Our News executive producer Jerome Sawyer and news production supervisor Taran Knowles accepting an award as Our News, one of several media houses proudly receiving the Outstanding Media Award from aviation officials. And a few more showers as the fall weather continues. Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended weather forecast in just a moment when Our News returns.
Are you ready for the stormy season? Don't wait until the storm clouds gather. Contact the experts at Alive Business today and let us help you prepare for this hurricane season. For a limited time only, you can get 50% off our Bahamas Cloud, the ultimate solution to secure your data and communications, ensuring they're accessible even in the worst of weather conditions. Don't let the storm catch you off guard this season. Stay ahead of the game with Bahamas Cloud from Alive Business.
This video needs to show us on a different scale. It has to be
extra.
What are you? Hey, Quay.
Hey, what you saying?
Where you with?
I heard you on the bus stop with my friend.
Okay, so we want to shoot this video and it's gonna be extra.
All right, Jim. I can just come to you. All right. I need you 25 cents no more.
Tindino notes. This November 5th, millions of Americans will decide in a race that will define history. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in a fight to the finish.
Perhaps not since the Civil War has this great country felt as politically, spiritually, and emotionally divided as it does then at this moment.
The world is watching, and so are we. Starting November 3rd, Our News is live from the U.S. with a Bahamian perspective, because Our News is everywhere, always there when it counts.
My name is Atreyu Williams. I've been a live fiber customer since March 2024. The installation process was seamless, effortless, and extremely fast. The gentlemen that came to the installation were very helpful, reliable, very knowledgeable.
This is Our News. Welcome back. Just when you thought it was all quiet in the tropics, we have a couple of areas that the National Hurricane Center will be watching and monitoring over the next couple of days. One way out there in the northern Atlantic, and that's going to stay out there. And of course, this one on Puerto Rico, that's going to be generating some showers, but that's going to be moving away from us. But we will keep an eye on the southwestern Caribbean, where the National Hurricane Center will watch this for some development sometime into the Gulf of Mexico. In the meantime, high pressure system will dominate our weather. That's going to continue to keep us very beaching and boating hazardous. Northeast east winds 20 to 25 North Sea, 6 to 9 feet, but up to 12 feet in Atlantic exposures. High tide is at 7:58 tonight. The low tide takes place at 2:03 in the morning. In your extended forecast, beautiful conditions over the next several days. The winds will continue. Temperatures will be in the mid-80s. Nighttime temperatures will stay in the mid-70s. That's a look at our weather. Back to you.
Thanks, Greg. And finally, as Aviation Week draws to a close, aviation officials held a special luncheon at Bahama on Thursday to highlight and honor their industry partners and stakeholders. Our News was one of several media houses proudly receiving the Outstanding Media Award. Joining in the celebration were Our News executive producer Jerome Sawyer and news production supervisor Taran Knowles, who accepted the award on behalf of the entire team. Other entities receiving awards were Bahamas Air, the Ministry of Tourism, and Western Air, among others. Well, on behalf of the entire team, thank you for joining us for Our News tonight. I'm Marlena Leonard. Have a great evening and a happy Halloween, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
For watching, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Now, if you want to continue to receive this great content, be sure and hit that button right over there. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you continue to get all of this great content from the team you already trust.